Well, they refer to each other as that team across the river. Tinora and Ayersville have family members split between school districts. Many of their players are teammates in summer leagues and on the AAU circuit. There are even relatives sitting on opposite benches as coaches. It's a healthy rivalry. It's a respectful rivalry. But make no mistake, when the ball is in the air for tip-off, all that gets put aside. We welcome you in live at the hangar, otherwise known as Ayersville High School Gymnasium. We're still about 15, almost maybe 20 minutes away from tip-off. Etiquette says ladies first, so they did last night at Tinora, and it was the Pilots winning a very defensive-oriented ball game by a final of 33-25. With it, head coach Tim Nicely and company now 13-1 overall and 4-0 in the GMC. The Rams falling to 8-7 and 2-2. Tonight, the boys take center stage. The Pilots, led by dual head coaches Logan Wolfram and Dave Retcher, both in their 5th year at the helm, bring an even 6-6 overall record into tonight's action. A game above 500 at 2-1 in the GMC. For the Rams, under third-year head coach Chris Limenstall, he's been a long-time assistant, between 10 and 15 years, but it's his 3rd year at the helm of this program. He does not believe in grade inflation. He plays an incredibly difficult non-conference schedule to try and get his team ready for the GMC. So don't let the overall record of 3-9 fool you. They are much better than that number on paper. They are 1-1 in the GMC. We welcome you aboard, everybody. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us. Still a little under a minute and a half left to go in the junior varsity contest. It is an 8-point affair as the visiting Rams trying to set the tone for their varsity brethren. They lead by 8, 42-34. The hangar, one of the relatively newer gyms in the area, certainly in the conference. Not unlike what we have now nicknamed affectionately the Emerald over at Tinora. Seats maybe just a little bit less, but again, where the old gym used to be, they've installed bleachers. That's primarily the student section, and we expect a very full house tonight. Again, bleacher seating on one side of the hangar, seat backs on the other, and then of course the students, well, they're basically piling on each other as they're going to cram that area of the arena. Coming up on a minute left to go, but as expected, Ayersville's going to draw this one out to try and extend the game as much as possible. So what that will allow me to do is let you know a little bit about tonight's matchup. The Rams run 2 different styles of offense. Primarily, though, that's circle motion or continuity offense. A lot of cutting, a lot of moving away from the basketball. It is a challenge to defend. Adam Rittenhouse and Owen Ackerman are the team's leading scorers with identical 12.3 point per game averages. Adam Spachala is the team's leading rebounder at nearly 7 per ball game. On the flip side for the Pilots, they are now 100% healthy. Again, they were missing one of their leading scorers before the new year. Garrett Flory broke his hand. He is back. He is now completely healed up, and he has been in the starting lineup now for the past couple of weeks. He is averaging about 9 points per ball game. A freshman, again, not shall lead them, but certainly is a key piece to this puzzle, Jeremiah Peak. Peak averaging 5.7 points per game, getting his feet wet. He is now a starter, the 2nd most minutes per game, again, on this roster. And a situation where they're going to want to get out and run because their bigs are their go-to guys. Carter Michael and Brady Clark, again, both averaging just under 10 points per ball game. You're not going to see that 20-point score on the Ayersville roster. Instead, you're going to see 3 to 4, around 9 to 10 points per contest. Again, bragging rights on the line for the upcoming season, but even more so, just wanting to get back in the win column. Tinora, with their 3 victories on the season, coming all the way back in December on the 16th at Holgate 51-41. Picking up a win just after the new year on the 5th of January versus Edgerton 54-52. And then last weekend at Stryker 58-51. They've had a couple of close losses back in December at Bryan by a basket. That was the season opener. And then a couple weekends ago on Friday the 13th at Kalida, losing 39-35. On the flip side for the Pilots, again, It's been an interesting dichotomy because they have a sub-500 record here at home. They're just 1-4 at the hangar. They are 5-2 on the road. The Pilots' only home win all the way back on December 9th versus Holgate. Last Friday, the Pilots coming off a 63-49 win at Hicksville. They are winners of 2 of their last 3. Earlier this week, I had a chance to stop out at both teams' practices and talk with both head coaches, Logan Wolfram for the Pilots and Chris Lymanstall for the Rams. We'll take a quick timeout. The Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. We'll start it off with the hosts. That would be Coach Logan Wolfram. Again, he's doing co-coaching duties with Dave Retcher. Both of those gentlemen donning the co-coaching title for each of the last 5 years. Again, the Pilots at 6-6 overall, 2-1 in the GMC. We'll hear from Coach Wolfram first, Coach Lymanstall second. We invite you to buckle up and get ready for what promises to be a great night of varsity boys basketball as the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back. The Bob Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame continues on DCTV. Last night, the ladies took center stage because they're big on etiquette in Ayersville. Tonight, the rivalry continues. This time, we move it just about 10 minutes north to the hangar as the Ayersville boys welcome Tinora. Pleased to be joined by Coach Wolfram right now. Coach, before we preview, let's go ahead and review. Does that sound okay?
Yep, great.
All right, the Pilots enter tonight's contest at 6-6 overall, 2-1 in the GMC. You and I were talking about this before I hit the record button. This team has been somewhat of an enigma. 1-4 at home this season, 5-2 on the road. Most of the time you would see those numbers flipped. What is it about this team that makes it more effective when you're away from home?
Yeah, like you said, it's a little enigma for us right now. I wish that was flip-flopped as well, being 5-2 at home, so we can protect our home court. But we just seem to be a little bit more consistent on the road. Again, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if it's nerves playing in front of our home crowd. We've also had some very, very tough opponents at home, so that definitely doesn't help. But hopefully we can change that here tonight against our rival.
Last home win, only home win for the Pilots this year, all the way back on December 9th versus Holgate. Let's touch on this rivalry. I know that both schools refer to each other as that team across the river, but in all seriousness, this is a healthy rivalry too, right? These kids know each other from outside of school during the summer. Many of them play on similar travel teams. It's not like this is a blood rivalry, but at the same time, you want bragging rights.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you said, we have a ton of respect for Coach Lymanstall and what they're doing over there. But also, again, kids nowadays where they know everybody. They got Snapchat, they got Twitter, they got everything like that. We have I think they have a freshman and we have a freshman that play on the same AAU team in the summer. So again, it's one of those things where it's going to be a fierce game. It's a big rivalry game for us. It's a big game for the GMC. But our kids have a ton of respect for them, and we have a ton of respect for what they do over there.
You beat me to it. You don't have that 20-point-a-night score, but what you do have is some nice balance. Now, we called pretty much the Clark and Michael show through the early part of the season prior to New Year's. You obviously have Garrett Flory back now from injury. He's adding 9. And you've got the freshman, Jeremiah Peak, who's really getting his feet wet. And I know it's going to move a million miles an hour for him, but he's now a starter. He's averaging 5 points per game. Can you just talk about your depth and the difference in the experience level in that depth?
Right. Yeah. We come in with 6 seniors. So we have a great group of seniors, great kids. And then we have Jeremiah, who's starting for us now as a freshman. And then Owen Lloyd, who's a sophomore coming off the bench. So we like to play about seven guys. We'll go 8, 9 if we have to. but the balance needs to come from our seniors, and our team knows that, where we need to have Brady and Carter go get double figures, and then Garrett to pitch in 9 to 14 points. Ben Amoroso is a guy who had 10 points for us last week against Hicksville. So, and then Jeremiah has the ability to put the ball in the bucket. He just needs to find some confidence in doing that. So we have some guys that can do it. Again, just comes down to doing it on a nightly basis, and that's tough for a freshman to do. And then our seniors are starting to step up to do it a little bit better.
Let's go ahead and preview tonight's opponent. Tinora comes into this one, and again, there's two ways to look at it. You are what your record says you are, or quite often, you're better than what your record shows on paper. This is a Tinora team that, much like you in the early months of the season, particularly December, really had, if you want to call it, a gauntlet as far as quality opponents. Good athletes on this team, and not unlike Ayersville, balance. You take a look at Rittenhouse and Ackerman in particular, both averaging about 12 points per ball game. Break this Ram squad down for us.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Chris does a good job. They like to beef their schedule up early, just like we do. Play those quality opponents early, and then hopefully get into the second half of the season, feeling a little bit better about your basketball team. Ackerman and the Rittenhouse kid, they can go out and get you 20. Both of them. They're both really athletic. They both can shoot the basketball.
They like to run a couple of different styles of offense, primarily that motion or continuity style offense. A lot of cutting, a lot of movement without the basketball. What's the challenge in defending that style of offense?
Yeah, looking at it, they run that circle motion, so it's really they're moving, they're setting screens, they're back cutting a ton. They do a really good job of back cutting, so we're just going to have to be open to the basketball, making sure our butts to the baseline all night, and so we can see those cutters. And then we got to find shooters. That's a big part about their offense too, is they can rattle off 8 to 12 threes a game, and it could be a long night for us.
Ought to be hopping. The hangar is a great place to watch a ball game, but especially when you got arch rivals going after it. You just talk about it. This is the type of environment. These are the types of games that as a player, you ought to be circling on your calendar, wrapping both arms around, feeding off that type of energy. I'm guessing you don't have to give a very big pep talk before tip-off tonight, but what's your message to your team about this game in particular?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, this shouldn't be a big pep talk game. Big rivalries. Both teams know each other very, very well. Again, they respect each other, but they want to go beat the crap out of each other tonight as well. We're just going to say stick together. There's going to be adversity. They're going to make some runs. We got to stick together as a team, avoid long runs, and just go out and have fun. Let's go out. Let's go play loose. Let's go have fun, and let's go get a dub.
Nothing left to do but tip this one off. Coach Wolfram, appreciate your time. Best of luck to you.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Coach Wolfram. We're very pleased to have him on board the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We're going to take a quick time out. We're back with more. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back. The Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. You are watching DCTV Sports. Etiquette says ladies first. So they went ahead and played last night. Now it's time for the guys to get after it, and we move from the Emerald to the Hangar. As they call it, that team across the river. I've been drinking out of a fire hose for about the last 3 or 4 months. The River Rivalry. Coach Lymanstall joining us to give us the Tinora angle on things. Coach, before we go any farther too, and I know that there's a little bit of trash talking, and obviously you want bragging rights for a season, but this, from everybody I've been talking to, tells me this is a healthy rivalry. I mean, there is a lot of respect. These kids know each other in many cases, maybe even play on some summer teams together, but at the same time, when that ball goes up and that whistle sounds, you want to take each other's heads off.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it starts with, I'll take it one step farther, that we go with family is on the other side. I have a cousin coaching on the other group, and I know those guys really well, and families cross lines here, and they work with one another. So Yeah, the bragging rights is exactly right. You get it for a year, and you kind of have to eat crow for a while.
No side bets or anything like a plate of wings or something like that?
No, I try to stay away from that kind of stuff and not get myself in too deep, because I might get a little aggressive and say things that I might regret for a year. So.
All right, well, then we don't want to rip open any old wounds.
Right.
Let's review before we preview. Sound good? I know the record is not where you want it to be, but you and I were talking about this when I attended practice yesterday. You don't believe in a cream puff non-conference schedule. You want to challenge your guys early. Now, sometimes you can see progression without necessarily seeing that show up in the win-loss column. But let me ask you, it's been almost 4 weeks since we had a chance to call Tinora boys basketball. How much better are you now compared to a month ago?
Well, if we just go back to last week, we had a season low in turnovers, which has been our big issue for throughout the better part of the season, where we turn it over, not just necessarily turn it over, we turn it over for points. And that's possessions that we don't get back, and we're starting to evolve a little bit into the area of we're not being so aggressively defensively, and we're not turning people over. So we're going to back off a little bit and maybe value possessions just a little bit more. And last week happened to be a season low in turnovers, and we were extremely efficient from the floor last week.
Turnover-wise, is there a line of demarcation? If you're at this number or less, you're considering that good performance?
Well, number-wise, we try to keep it, per possession for the game. We try to keep it 10 or below. If the possessions start to creep up a little bit, maybe the game is starting to get a little too quick for us, and that's when you start to see us turn the ball over a little bit.
So does the salsa need to be hot or mild tonight against Ayersville?
Maybe a little bit of both. So we'll test the waters a little bit, see if we can pressure them and turn them up and get them to speed up a little bit. But in the same token, we know how we're supposed to play offensively. We know the spots we're supposed to get to. So if we play too quick, then things won't go well for us. But if we settle down and be patient and let the actions work for us and make reads off of what we're doing, things will turn out in the positive.
Let's go ahead and preview the pilots. They have depth now that they didn't have, especially before New Year's. Obviously, Flory is back from the injury.
Yep.
Peak, the young freshman, is now starting, which says something about his talent level. But at the same time, things are kind of moving a million miles an hour when you're at that level, trying to get used to playing against guys 3 or 4 years older than you. Break down the pilots for us.
Well, they make no mistake. They make their hay in the post. They like the Michael kid and they like this Clark kid. And those are two tremendous guys. And the basic game plan is we can't let it get in the post, and if it gets there, it's got to get out of the post. So we worked on that kind of stuff all week to try to not let them beat us. And if the other guys are hitting, then we'll adjust. But let's keep things simple. It's got to go to the post for them, and that's where they make their bread and butter. So we got to keep it out of there.
So who draws Carter, at least to open up the game?
Open up the game, we're going to put Adam Spicella on him. He's been our best defensive player, especially in the post, so he gets that assignment. And we're going to throw multiple guys at him just to keep it interesting for him.
They can't run if they don't have the ball. Spicella is your leading rebounder at nearly 7 a game, but you're nodding yes. A way to control the tempo is to make sure you have possession. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah. We have to end defensive possessions with rebounds, and that's been a problem for us some part of the season where we do get out-rebounded, especially we give up some offensive rebounds and for extra points, extra possession, extra points. So, again, we got to go back to let's limit their possessions by, 1, not turning it over, and then 2, not giving up offensive rebounds.
The hangar, not unlike the Emerald here, really solid, medium-sized gym. It's probably going to be packed. There's going to be energy. These are the types of games as a player, rivalry or not, you circle on the calendar, right? My guess is you don't need to give a big pregame speech to get these guys up.
No, and we talked about that the other day. It's going to be 1, control your emotions. We can't get too high. We obviously can't get too low. Things are going to go wrong for us at times. We got to fight through that adversity and weather the storm at times, when their emotions are high. But I have no feeling that it's going to be a quiet gym tomorrow night. Enthusiasm is going to be at the fullest, so we're ready to go.
Nothing left to do but tip this one off.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
Coach Lymanstall, best of luck to you. Appreciate your access to the program this week.
Thank you very much.
That is, again, Coach Lymanstall giving us the Tinora angle on things. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. You're watching DCTV Sports. The Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac show continues. Kill the button, please, Alex. There we go. Thank you. 3 minutes before we tip this one off, we are back at the hangar as the Pilots at 6-6 overall, 2-1 in the GMC, welcoming their arch rival, that team across the river. It is the River Rivalry, as the Rams 3-9 overall, 1-1 in the GMC. Time now for your Baker Schindler Company starting lineups. First for the hosts, the Pilots of Ayersville, led by co-head coaches Logan Wolfram and Dave Retcher, both in their 5th season at the helm. At the point, it will be Ben Amoroso. Amoroso, again, a 5'9" senior. Not a huge score. However, he did have 10 points in their last win against Stryker. Check that. Their last win at Hicksville, excuse me. At off guard, it will be the freshman, Jeremiah Peak. Peak, again, standing in at 6 foot. He's averaging 5.7 points per ball game. Peak, again, also can hit the boards as he is averaging nearly 4 per game. At the swing, it will be Garrett Flory. Flory, the 6'5" senior. He is a perimeter player. He missed a handful of games prior to January 1st. He's averaging 9.1 points, 3 boards per contest, and he is a 76% free throw shooter. And then the big 1-2 punch. The front court, Carter Michael. Michael stands in at 6'3", a senior forward. Michael averaging just a shade under 10 points and 3 boards per contest. And in the middle, Brady Clark. Clark, a 6'2" forward. He is thick, he is strong. Clark averaging 9.5 points and 5 rebounds per contest. On the flip side, for the Tinora Rams, led by third-year head coach Chris Lymanstall. They are 3-9, 1-1 in the GMC. He will send the following 5 out onto the court. It will be Aiden Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse, a 6'2" senior. He is the team's leading scorer at 12.2 points per ball game, 2.3 rebounds per contest. At the off guard, Connor Welling. Welling, a 5'10" junior. Welling averaging 6 points and 4 boards per game. Adam Spachala, the team's best on-ball defender. He's just a jack of all trades. He's kind of a junkyard dog. 7 points, 6 boards per contest. Alex Homeyer will get the starting nod at 5'11" junior. Homeyer, 4 points and 1.5 boards per game. And in the middle, Owen Ackerman. Ackerman, a 6'3" senior. Ackerman, the second leading scorer on the team at 12.1 points per game. He's pulling down nearly 2 boards and also dishing out an assist per contest. Those are your starting 5 for the Tinora Rams. Brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. As the buzzer sounds, ball's put in the racks. Everybody heading out onto the court as we are getting set for the playing of the national anthem. Brought to you by the Defiance Elks Lodge 147. Green Meadows Conference matchup here this evening. Arch rivals. Somebody wants to pick up a big conference win and also earn bragging rights for the next season.
The student athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and Ayersville Local Schools.
And before we start things off, always the Ohio High School Athletic Association announcement from the public address announcer on sportsmanship. Colors have been unfurled. You get a good look at the frame-up job there as we are getting ready for the Ayersville Pep Bands to play the national anthem, again courtesy of Defiance Elks Lodge number 147.
The Star-Spangled Banner.
And the national anthem in the books, courtesy of the Ayersville Pep Band. Our thanks going out to the Defiance Elks Lodge number 147 for helping bring it to you. Rick Haskins, Chad Schimmel, and Bo Schimmel are the officiating crew this evening. The non-starters being announced, cheerleaders likewise. Both teams with a sizable pep squad. Ayersville in their home whites with the baby blue lettering and numerals. The big A insignia at the bottom of the shorts. Tinora will be in their traveling green uniforms with the white lettering and numerals. And the Rams insignia at the bottom of the shorts. They'll get after it tonight, but there's still plenty of season left after this one finishes up. Next up for Tinora will be tomorrow. Try saying that 10 times fast. Tomorrow night, they will be home versus Hilltop. Likewise, Ayersville also in action tomorrow, but they will be on the road as they will be traveling to Jefferson. Hard to believe we're not quite finished with the month of January. February still to come, and of course, all eyes on the postseason. How deep a run can you make? Tinora starters now introduced. Lights come down and get ready for the hype machine. Cue up AC/DC and Thunderstruck. They've got the lights going. All the youngsters form a long tunnel. Future pilots, hands extended, and they love to get the high five from the varsity starters. Carter Michael, the last of the starters to be announced. Trying to build him to a fever pitch here before tip-off. Lights are back up. Nothing like a classic, AC/DC and Thunderstruck. Whenever I play this song at home, my neighbors hear it as well. All right, 8 minutes up on the clock. We're getting ready for tip. In the center circle, Garrett Flory will do the honors for the Pilots. It will be Owen Ackerman for the Rams. Ball is in the air. Flory wins the tip. And Ayersville will move from left to right on your screen. The Bank opening tip. Pass off the fingertips of Garrett Flory. And that'll be an unforced turnover for the Pilots to open up the ball game. Now the Tinora student section just to our left, and they are standing as they probably will for the entire ball game. They'll feed it down low. Welling kicks it right back out. Rittenhouse and Ackerman will play a little catch with it. Swinging it to the left side. Heads up play, a rare fast break opportunity for the Pilots. They'll back it out. Amoroso. Peak. Testing the waters on the baseline. Feeding it down low. This is their bread and butter, but we've got a foul before The shot goes up. Foul will be charged against Alex Homeyer, his first, team foul number 1. The inbounds just a bit short. Tough rebound by Homeyer. Quick outlet. Rams want to run. Now they'll slow it down. And if you caught the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show, Coach Lymanstall said he wants the salsa medium tonight. They want to run, but they won't force it. If it's not there, they'll set up their half-court offense. As an offensive foul against Homeyer, leaning in, and he's picked up 2 very quick. And now the question is, they will sub out for him. Josh Lieb will check in. Alex Homeyer, barely a minute into this ball game, about 90 seconds, has just picked up his 2nd foul. Amoroso will slow it down, gets the signal from Coach Wolfram. They'll set up their pattern offense. Michael, nice feed down low. Clark was a little too far underneath the basket, and we've got a whistle. That'll be the big man's first. Look at this. Ayersville coming out in a 2-2-1 press. Full court. So very early on, Tenora's ball handlers will have to face some in-your-jersey pressure. Spichala, quick outlet. Tinora breaks it without any trouble. Rittenhouse. Ackerman thought about the drive. On the move, nifty teardrop. Welling finishes with the finger roll. And the Rams draw first blood. Amoroso slowing it down. Ben Amoroso averaging 5 points per game. He had double that in their win against Hicksville. Drive, nice spin move. Halfway down, it spits out. Michael thought he had it. Welling quickly into the front court. Rittenhouse, nice drive. Nobody picks him up, and he's all the way home. Aiden Rittenhouse doubles up the Rams' early lead, 4-0. Flory looking down low, nothing doing. Tinora right now packing it in underneath the free throw line. Tight man-to-man. Another post up. Clark, tough move. In and out again. Stays with it. Up top. Peek from distance. He's got it. There is a Premier Bank three-pointer, and it puts the Pilots on the board. Tinora wanting to run. They got the opportunity on the move. Ackerman can't find the range, but he does pick up the foul. Foul will go against Carter Michael. It will be his first, team foul number 2. At the charity stripe, Ackerman, a 62% free throw shooter, is off the mark on his first. Substitution. Cooper Farrell will check in. Connor Welling will take a seat on the bench for Tinora. Ackerman will try and split the difference, and I'm not sure what the issue is at the scorer's table. Substitution was allowed, and everything appears to be okay. Second is on the way. That might have iced him a bit, as he missed both. Peak, looking over at Coach Wolfram, gets the sign. Amoroso. Flory looking down low. They flash Peak in the low blocks. Quickly out up top. Good ball reversal right now by Ayersville. Coming out and getting a hand in his face. Farrell draws him now. Amoroso drives, but stops at the free throw line. Lob pass down low. Nice set by Michael, and he's finally in the books. And the Pilots up by 1. And here comes that 2-2-1 zone press. Rittenhouse goes over the top of it. Farrell. Long pass. Lieb slows it down. Rittenhouse stops and pops. Sweet looking jumper. Flory on the drive. There's contact and count it, and one coming. Flory absorbed the contact, laid it in. Foul will be charged against Ackerman, his first, team foul number 3. And a chance at a good old-fashioned 3-point play for Flory. Cannot connect. Offensive board. Nope. Throw it away. Down by 1. Rams trying to retake the lead this trip down the court. Spichala releases the basketball. Rittenhouse thinking about it. Stutter stepping. Amoroso will give him an arm's length. First cutter through. They jam him up. Rittenhouse. Well, look at this. A heat check by Spichala, and it's off the mark. Peak with a board. Ayersville with a chance to run. Peak from distance. Got it! Another Premier Bank three-pointer. He's 2 for 2 from distance, and it's a 4-point lead. And just as I mentioned that, Ackerman hustling down the court. Nice speed, and it pulls them back to within a pair. Peak thought about it. Drives and dishes. Top of the key, Michael on the drive. Elevates. Nice looking Jay. Carter Michael showing he can score multiple ways. 12 to 8. We back up to 4. Ackerman stops, and this one bounces once, twice. Shooter's touch. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Full timeout at the 2:30 mark. Back and forth we go. We'll take a break with them. The First Insurance Group timeout. We're back with more at the hangar. It's the team across the river. They're getting after each other. The River Rivalry on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back to the hangar. Look at that. Just the tail end of it. Little cutie pie in that pink coat. A fan of point guard Mabel McGuire. That's a future pilot, maybe in about 12, 13 years. Nice feed down low. Michael leans in. He got the seal. He's too hard off the glass. Ackerman clears out underneath. 2-point game. Tinora trying to tie it up or possibly take the lead with this. Nice give and go. Welling lays it off the square with his right hand. They're knotted up, but it doesn't. Michael, 1 foot inside the top of the arc. Flory on the drive. Well, the defense has been in your jersey. Right now they're switching 1 through, it looks like 4, maybe 5. Peak on the drive. Tinora coming up with another stop. Crossing over, Ackerman. Michael hits the deck, and an uncontested shot falls from 15. He's got 6 straight points. Rams retake the lead. Under 90 seconds left to go first quarter. Ayersville will take the air out of the ball. Looking down in. Clark released it. Flory back to Amoroso. Pilots in no rush. Nice feed down low. Clark goes up strong with the left hand. Brady Clark now in the books. Boy, both these teams just beating on each other right now. The bigs for the Pilots, the guards for the Rams. Ackerman stutter steps, drives baseline, double clutches in midair, and he's found his rhythm. He's got the last 8 points for the Rams. Clark Down low to Michael, doing what they do. He's got 6, and he'll head to the free throw line. Foul looks like it's being charged against Pachala, his first. Substitution for the Pilots, Dylan Hinkle will check in. Amoroso will catch a breather for the final 32 and 4/10 seconds of the quarter. At the stripe, Michael. A 46% free throw shooter, but he completes the three-point play here. He's got 7. And it's a 1-point Pilot lead. Walking it across the timeline, Welling releases the basketball. Rittenhouse. Welling will dribble out in between the circles, and it looks like the Rams will work for the final shot of the quarter. Lead. Back and forth with Welling. They pop Pachala. He's got a good look at a 3, just a bit short. Lead with the board, 2 seconds. Down low, whistle sounds, wave it off. We've got a foul on the floor. Jeremiah Peak picks up his first with 1 and 1/10 seconds left. There is enough time on the clock to be able to catch, maybe take one dribble, and then you got to get a shot off. Bounce pass, moving to the basket. They got it! What a play coming out of the foul, and Ackerman with his 10th point of the quarter, and it gives the Rams a 1-point lead. What a first 8 minutes of basketball. We'll catch our breath. The second quarter, when we come back to the hangar, you're watching the River Rivalry on DCTV Sports. Second 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. The buzzer sounds. We welcome you back to the hangar. It is the River Rivalry. Ayersville, 6-6 overall, 2-1 in the GMC. Hosting arch rival Tinora, the Rams, 3-9, but 1-1 in the GMC. And both teams found their offensive groove early. Let's take a look at our Mark Moats stat summary. Scoring-wise, leading all players, Owen Ackerman with 10 points in the first quarter. Ackerman averages 12. 4 points apiece for Aiden Rittenhouse and Connor Welling. For the Pilots, they have been led by Carter Michael. Their big burly power forward with 7 points. 6 points for freshman Jeremiah Peak. He's hit a couple from beyond the arc. And then a deuce apiece for Garrett Flory and Brady Clark. Only 1 turnover between both teams. A very cleanly played first quarter. Rams with the ball. Pachala into a triple team. Kicks it back. Yeah, that's going to be a travel. Cooper Farrell knew it. Looking back right now, Amoroso. Now getting the play that the coach wanted. Skip past far corner. Boy, a great save by Hinkle. Amoroso swings it right side. Sharp perimeter passing right now by the Pilots. Clark drives baseline, cut off. Hinkle left to right, step in for 3. Bucket! Dylan Hinkle with a Premier Bank three-pointer, and the Pilots retake the lead by 2. Beyond the arc, Farrell sizing up Hinkle. Rittenhouse, team's leading scorer at 12.3 per game. Had 4 in that first quarter, but they are dogging him. Trying to post up in the high blocks. Ayersville right now looks like a 2-3, and that's one way to bust it. Rittenhouse with a Premier Bank three-pointer. He's got 7 on the evening. Back and forth we go. Hinkle and Amoroso playing a little catch out in between the circles. Lucas Fishpaw, number 12, is checked in. Amoroso on the drive and dish. Hinkle with a nice pump fake. And again, the help side defense for Tinora has been excellent so far here in the early going. Fishpaw thought about it. You're going to have a fraction of a second. You won't have a lot of time to size up the rim. Middle of the paint, back out to Hinkle. Pump fake, stops and pops from 16. That ball might have been partially blocked. And it will be a rebound. Here comes Welling. Rittenhouse thought about a 3. Back out in between the circles, Welling. Spachala with a long-range 3. Dials it up, and he's in the books. Adam Spachala averages 7 a game. Gets his first points of the evening courtesy of a Premier Bank three-pointer. Largest lead of the game for either team. Tinora enjoys it at 4. Hinkle, nice pump fake, dishes back. That's an open 15-footer, and Clark rushed it. He knew it was off. A little bit of a lazy pass, though, stolen away by Welling. He's fouled on the way up. Amoroso will make him earn them. Foul's going to go against Amoroso, his first. This will send Welling to the charity stripe. Connor Welling, a 67% free throw shooter. He's got 4 on the evening so far. The average is just under 6. He's almost there now as he drains his first. He's got 5. Fishpaw and Clark will check out. Flory will check in. And Owen Lloyd will see his first action of the evening. 5'9" sophomore guard. Welling's second is on the way. It is short. Score remains 25-20. Amoroso kicks into gears up top. Good perimeter passing, but right now Tenora's defense has been very good in the early going. Amoroso will back it out. Dribble penetration, drives and dishes. Long shot up and misses everything. Ackerman with the board. Welling drives and dishes. Spachala for 3. Book it! Adam Spachala with back-to-back Premier Bank three-pointers. And the Rams with their largest lead of the night. Ayersville will slow it down. Lloyd. Well, in the early going, Ayersville was able to get the ball into the paint, but right now a 2-3 zone really has stymied this offense. Flory swings it near side. Hinkle on the drive, leans in. He lost the handle. Johnny on the spot. Put back up and good by Carter Michael. Give him 9 on the evening. That breaks a long dry spell for the Pilots. Dribble penetration from the near corner. Back out up top. Ackerman. Rittenhouse being dogged by Amoroso. That pass will sail out of bounds. That is just the first turnover of the evening unofficially that I've got for Tinora. As a matter of fact, a cleanly played ball game by both teams. Only 1 turnover so far between the 2 of them. Actually 4 each of them, rather. Down by 6, approaching the 3-minute mark. Oh, again, another dangerous pass. Welling jumps the lane, goes in for the layup. Counter Welling with 7 now on the evening. And they almost threw it away again. Boy, Tinora very aggressive defensively. Peak thought about a 3. Instead, he'll penetrate, leans in, swatted away. Loose ball, contact everywhere. We got a whistle. Take your pick. It'll go against Brady Clark. It's his second. We'll see if he stays in. He will. Amoroso will check out. Hinkle in. .241 left to go in the first half. Tinora looking to add to an 8-point advantage. Ayersville in a 2-3 zone, and a rare turnover, just their second so far of the evening. Rams throw it away. And looking at Coach Chris Lymanstall putting his palms down, telling his team slow it down. Peak crosses over, dishes. Flory had a look, but it disappeared in a hurry. Back out up top. Free throw line extended. That'll be a 17-footer. Michael can't find the range. Battle for the board, and a foul will go against Ayersville. And if it's Clark, it's his third. It'll be Michael, but it will be his second. So both Pilot big men with 2 fouls. Spicciala in for Farrell for Tinora. Lead surrenders the basketball. Spicciala, he's been hot from the right wing. He's hot from the left. His third 3 of the night. And Premier Bank getting their sponsorships worth. Up to an 11-point lead. Peak with a heat check. He counters with his third. The offense coming from beyond the arc so far here in the first half. Beautiful spin move by Ackerman, and he finishes with the finger roll. He's got 12. Furious tempo. Peak open again. Off the front of the iron. Ackerman had it, lost it. Ayersville with a chance to reset. Instead, Hinkle launches from distance. Deadens off the heel. My goodness, a battle underneath. Take your pick. Who's this on? It'll be Peak. And that's his second. So 3 Pilot starters, each with 2 fouls. And Amoroso immediately off the bench. Under a minute left to go in the half. We'll see if Tinora takes the air out of the ball. They've been efficient, more than efficient, at both ends of the court so far here in the early going. Lieb will back it out. Catching a bit of a breather. Rittenhouse the first cutter through, nothing doing. They jam him. Likewise, Lieb. Peak sticks with him. Coming up on 30 seconds left to go in the half. Flory hounding Spicciala. Hinkle right now face guarding Connor Welling. 15 seconds. They'll probably want to start their offense at about the 10-second mark, which would be about now. They run a flat play. They screen to get Ackerman open. Sticking with him, Flory. He's going to muscle up against Carter, and Carter has just picked up his third. Carter Michael has just picked up his third foul. Check that. The board has him for 2. All right. Not as bad as we thought. Ackerman to the line. He's got 12, and it remains that way. Michael will check out. The board had him for 2 earlier, so I'll trust my lion eyes, but they've got him for 2 now. Ackerman's second is on the way. In and out. Ball tipped away. And that'll be the end of the first half. Both teams head to their respective locker rooms. What was a 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter is a 10-point advantage for Tinora. Visiting Rams 35, host Pilots 25. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout. Back with the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this on DCTV Sports. Back at the hangar, it is the Brunswick check that, the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Our score at the end of one, it was a nip and tuck game as Tinora led by a point, 18-17. But the Rams kept up the offensive pressure, and defensively, a lot of one and dones for Ayersville as they lead by 10. Now at the intermission, 35-25. Let's take a look at your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. And leading all players, Owen Ackerman. He had 10 at the end of the first quarter. He only had one basket in the second. That's still good enough to lead the way with 12 points. Owen Ackerman with a dozen. Adam Spichala has really stepped up. 3 3-pointers in the second quarter. The big man, the team's leading rebounder at nearly 7 per game. He averages 7 points. He's already 2 points over that as he has 9. Connor Welling with 7. Again, Welling averages 6. He's over his average. And Adam Rittenhouse with 7 points as well. On the flip side for the Pilots, leading the charge is Jeremiah Peak, the freshman with 3 threes, 2 in the first quarter, 1 in the second. He's got 9. Carter Michael had 7 in the first quarter. He only had 1 basket from the field in the second. He also has 9. 3 points off the bench, courtesy of a shot from beyond the arc for Dylan Hinkle, and then a deuce apiece for Garrett Flory and Brady Clark. Again, Flory and Clark both averaging just under 10 points per game, held to just 1 basket from the field. Turnovers, it's been an extremely cleanly played ball game. Just 3 combined, 2 for the Rams, 1 for the Pilots. Again, just shot selection, transition, or maybe more of a lack of transition defense for Ayersville. But as it stands, 3 threes from Adam Spichala, 1 from Aiden Rittenhouse, and that spells the difference when the opposition is just scoring 2s, and it's helped lead to a 10-point advantage, 35-25. That is your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, more of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. You're watching the Rivalry on DCTV Sports. About 4 minutes left here at the intermission as we welcome you back to the hangar. It is the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show, the River Rivalry. And these two teams have not disappointed. Last night's matchup at the Emerald saw the Ayersville girls win a defensive-oriented battle, 33-25. Tonight, well, right now, both these teams on pace, and in particular, Tinora, to score 70 points this evening. We'll wait and see if they can keep it up. Taking a look at some other stats of note, let's start with the Rams. They are averaging 46.2 points per ball game. They are giving up 54.3. So when you figure 46 points per ball game, already at the half, Tinora has roughly 75% of what their average offense per game is. And again, in particular, Adams Pachala with 3 threes in the second quarter. Aiden Rittenhouse also draining one as well. Owen Ackerman had 10 points. How you doing? One of you, who do you own? You own Ackerman? Which parents are you? They're hearing the names here. We're giving them to them. Owen Ackerman had a tremendous first quarter with 10 points. He had 2 in the second. On the flip side, for Ayersville. Again, Ayersville has been a roller coaster ride this season. They average 45.3 points per ball game. They allow 51, nearly 52, 51.7. And right now, again, they're ahead of their average, but defensively, they are well behind it. We'll see if the Tinora hot shooting continues. Ayersville, again, their offense is predicated on pounding it down low to their 2 bigs, Brady Clark and Carter Michael. Between the 2 of them, 11 of Ayersville's 25 points. Jeremiah Peak, the freshman, with 9. He has 3 3-pointers, but he also has 3 fouls. As the Pilots are out for a quick shoot around, Tinora just now grabbing the balls out of the racks. Both coaches taking a little bit longer of a halftime to try and lead the charges. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll put a wrap on the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. The second half, when we return, you're watching the River Rivalry on DCTV Sports. Well, there you get a good look at the Tinora huddle. Last minute instructions being handed out by Coach Lyman Stahl and company. His squad has played a tremendous first 16 minutes of basketball, but there's 2 more quarters left to be played. They're trying to pick up their 4th win overall, would be their 2nd in the GMC, would bring them to 2-1. There you take a look at the Pilots huddle. Co-coaches Logan Wolfram and Dave Retcher. They are 6-6 overall. But right now, 2-1 in the GMC. This is a conference matchup. Same starting 5 for Ayersville that began the game. Will take the court to begin the second half. Amoroso, Peak, Flory, Michael, and Clark. And for Tinora, it looks to be the same. Rittenhouse, Wellings, Pachala, Homeyer and Ackerman. Homeyer picked up 2 fouls within the first 90 seconds and had to sit basically the rest of the half. He is out there now, and it looks like they're going to try and protect him and stay in that 2-3 zone that gave the Pilots so much trouble in the first half. Flory with a dangerous skip pass to Peak. The freshman thought about it. Drives baseline in midair. Michael left it short. Uh-oh, look out. Well, it'll be Tinora basketball. Things gummed up there. For a second, I thought Michael might have picked up his 3rd foul. Rittenhouse, 7 in the first half. He averages just over 12. Far corner. Oh, nice move by Homeyer. A little too far underneath the basket. He also had Flory in his grill. Rare fast break opportunity for Ayersville, but 5 green jerseys get back in transition D. Peak off a screen, open for 3, missed everything. Loose ball, Clark diving. Michael diving. There's a scrum. And jump ball will be the call. The arrow should point to Ayersville. Amoroso will inbound underneath the cylinder. Tinora won't put anybody on the ball. They're just going to pack it into that 2-3 zone. And now Ayersville will try and solve it. Amoroso will launch his first 3 of the night. Clark on the weak side, left it short. Michael taps it to himself. Amongst a trio, Amoroso, Johnny on the spot. Flory for 3. Boy, they had 3 good looks and nothing went down. And here comes a rare fast break opportunity. Beautiful 360 spin move by Homeyer, and he's fouled. Foul going to go against Flory, his first. Homeyer will head to the stripe. The only starter yet to score. He sat most of the first half in foul trouble. Eyes it, skies it, buys it. A 55% free throw shooter is now in the books. He's got another coming. It's on the way. Rattles it home. So the Rams break the scoreboard first to start the second half. A 12-point advantage. Ayersville trying to solve this 2-3 zone. Tinkle thought about a 3. They're posting Michael up in the high blocks, but they cannot find him. He's being draped. Tinkle. Nowhere to go. Floats it to Flory. Nice pass down low to Amoroso. He'll have to earn it. Take your pick, but I believe this is going to be Spichala. Nope. It will be Welling. His first team foul, number 1. And now Ben Amoroso to the line. Amoroso, a 60% free throw shooter, connects on his first. Trying to pull back to within 10. Second is on the way. It's Pure. 37-27. 5 white jerseys get back in transition D for Ayersville. Rittenhouse, aggressive drive, stops, fades away. Beautiful shot. My goodness. Pure athleticism. Give him 9. Give the Rams a 12-point lead. Amoroso drives and dishes. They'll reverse it. Far corner. Flory, open look for 3. He rushed it. Nice job, though, on the weak side. Rebound, Brady Clark with his second basket of the evening. Right now, both teams trading baskets. Ackerman needing somebody to come help him. He'll put it on the floor. Drives, contested shot, a little too hard off the glass. Amoroso, dangerous lead pass to Michael, using his body. That is brute strength by Carter Michael. Give him 11, and the lead down to single digits, 39-31, timeout Tinora. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout with them. 5:10 left to go in the third quarter. Rams up by 8 in the River Rivalry. You're watching it on DCTV Sports. Five minutes, 10 seconds left to go third quarter. We're not even halfway through. Quarter number 3 as the buzzer sounds. We welcome you back to the hangar. It is the River Rivalry. Arch rivals, Ayersville and Tinora. Battle for bragging rights for the next year, but just as important, actually more so, a key conference win. Rams trying to get a game above 500. They enter in the GMC at 1-1. Pilots at 2-1. Ayersville dropping back, getting into their half-court defense. Welling will trot it up. First cutter through, nothing doing, and that pass is tipped. It will remain Ram basketball. Inbounding into the backcourt. Welling across the timeline, Amoroso waiting on him. A little bit of hand checking. Rittenhouse has 9. And Tinora taking their time, a bit more deliberate here. They're going into that circle motion offense. Lots of movement away from the basketball. A lot of cuts. They're excellent at backdoor cutting. And ball reversal. Oh, they missed Rittenhouse through. He had Michael on his hip. They couldn't find him. Near corner. Rittenhouse the second time. Michael's on him. He's going to try and muscle him up. And that is tough. Athlete on athlete. Aiden Rittenhouse now with 11. Back up to a 10-point lead. Clark down low. And a loose pass almost jumps by Welling. Amoroso triple teamed in the low blocks. Hinkle will spot up for a 3 off the heel of the iron. Oh my, Michael tapped it to Amoroso. He's fouled. Little pinball action underneath. Foul against Lieb is first. He's going to send Amoroso to the line. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Amoroso, again, a 60% free throw shooter. Drains his first. Well, he averages 5 a game. He had 10 in the win last weekend against Hinkle. He'll get one more. Second is up, second is good. Give him 4 on the night. 41-33, back to within 8. Spichala dribbled to the free throw line, but surrenders the basketball. Ackerman directing traffic. They're overloaded on one side. Amoroso swatting at the ball. Helling jab steps, and he threw it away. Just the first turnover of the third quarter. Only the third of the night for Tinora. Amoroso in between the circles. They'll set up their half-court offense. Tinora content to stay in that 2-3 zone. Flory flies in from the weak side. Pass was late. He missed the bunny, and now we got a foul. That will be Michael's third. That was a golden opportunity for the Pilots. Instead, they'll have to get back and play some more D. And jamming cutters. Ayersville in that sagging man-to-man. Swinging it to the near side. Ackerman on the drive. He's got 12 tonight, yet to score here in the second half. Overplaying Clark was going for the steal. Down low, Spichala trying to back Hinkle down, fades away, drains the 7-footer in the middle of the paint. Spichala averaging 7, he's got 11 tonight. And it's back up to a double-digit lead. Amoroso looking over at Coach Wolfram. They'll work it to the near corner. Nice pass, low post. Michael with a pump fake, he'll head to the line. Take your pick, although I think this might be Lieb. It is. Josh Lieb with his second, third team foul. Carter Michael to the charity stripe. He's 1 for 1 tonight, make it 2 for 2. Carter Michael, a 60% free throw shooter. Second is on the way, splits the nylon. And again to within 8. Trouble is Ayersville hasn't been able to get multiple stops in a row. Traveling the call, a little anxious on the drive for Cooper Farrell. That's just their second turnover here in the second half. Ayersville with back-to-back stops. Can they make good at the other end? Coming up on 2 minutes left to go in the quarter. Amoroso releases the basketball. Flory on the drive. He's cut off, almost lost it. And throws it away. Now hitting the deck. Bodies flying everywhere. No holes barred here tonight at the hangar. Farrell. They'll release it up top. Welling, fake the 3. Bounce pass, low blocks. We're going to have a foul. Yes. Instead of a turnover. I believe this is Flory. Flory with his second. Peak with 3 fouls will come in to spell Flory. Peak had 9 points at the half, 3 threes, but he got in foul trouble. He's now on the court. Tinora content to take some air out of the ball right now. Little 3-man weave. Oh my goodness, heat check for Rittenhouse. And it is way short. Offensive board, but Spichala can't handle it. Third turnover of the quarter. That had to have been about a 24, maybe a 25-footer for Rittenhouse. Coach Retcher and Coach Wolfram sending in the signal to Amoroso. Skip pass near corner. Fish pop for 3. Around the world it kicks out. Clark had it, lost it. They ran the play they wanted. They got the look they wanted. It just didn't fall. And Coach Lymanstall having to be consoled at the other end of the gym. Not sure what he was upset about, but we'll play on. Welling being dogged by Amoroso. Now Ackerman pops out with 30 seconds left to go in the quarter. Little 3-man weave in between the circles. Now they'll spread the floor, and it looks like they will work for the final shot of the quarter. Lead is 8, 9 seconds, 7. They've yet to get their offense into motion. Ackerman in the high blocks, he'll release it. Spichala for 3. Off the heel of the iron, and we have played through 3. Down by 10 at the half. Ayersville manages to shave 2 points off the deficit. But they've got some work to do in the final 8 minutes as they trail 43-35. We'll take a first insurance group timeout. Back with the fourth and final quarter. You are watching the River Rivalry on DCTV Sports. Coming out of a first insurance group timeout, time for a Mark Motorsports stat summary. Visiting Tinora, leading host Ayersville 43-35. Let's take a look at your individual scoring totals. Leading all players right now, Aiden Rittenhouse with 4 points in that third quarter. He now has 11. Owen Ackerman, despite being scoreless in that third quarter, still has a dozen. 2 points for Alex Holmeyer, 11 points for Adam Spichala, and Connor Welling with 7. For Ayersville, Ben Amoroso was 4 for 4 from the line. Those were his only points of the night. Jeremiah Peak sat in foul trouble much of that third quarter. He has 9 points. A deuce for Garrett Flory. 13 points for Carter Michael. 4 for Brady Clark. And 3 for Dylan Hinkle off the bench. As there's a turnover, the fourth of the half. Peak up to Clark on the drive. Dishes, and we have a foul. Owen Ackerman, the guilty party for the Rams. He's got 2. Pilots have not been within 8 in the entire second half. A beautiful run on the inbounds. Carter Michael lays it in. They're within 6, and there's another turnover. Amoroso hits a trailing Clark. 3 is not his shot. Fishpaw, Michael's trying to post up in the high blocks, but they're draping him. They'll reverse it. Amoroso pulls the trigger. Halfway down, it spits out. Ball being tapped around. Rams basketball. That was a golden opportunity to cut the deficit to just 3 points, but Ayersville's got to get back. They need more stops. Tinora facing a little bit tougher, tighter on-ball defense now to start the final 8 minutes. That's a great example. Clark draping Ackerman. Michael, hand in the face of Rittenhouse. He'll drive, leans in, count it, and one coming. Wow. That is with the strongest on-ball defender Ayersville could put on him, and he just muscled that shot up. And Michael now with his 4th foul. Rittenhouse, a 68% free throw shooter. He's got 13. And it remains that way as this one's in and out. Lead back up to 8. Peak cut off. Flory, heat check. Got it! Premier Bank 3. Garrett Flory with just his 2nd basket from the floor tonight. And it pulls the Pilots to within a handful. You can hear the crowd trying to spur on another defensive stop for Ayersville. Lead backs it out. Rittenhouse, he's got 13 tonight. At a half a point over his average. On the drive, Welling, nobody picks him up. He can't hit the bunny. A huge opportunity here for the Pilots. Amoroso, good ball movement. The freshman for 3. Off the mark, it remains Pilot basketball. Boy, if Peak would have hit that, the roof would have come off this place. He will inbound. Bounce pass, Michael. Payne is completely open. Amoroso drives, tries to find some daylight. He's tied up. Jump ball. The arrow stays with Ayersville. Or does it? I thought the official up top called jump ball. Logan Wolfram wanted a foul. And he is livid. Will the pass down low, up top, Peak for three. Yes! A premier three-point shot pulls the Pilots to within a deuce. Jeremiah Peak with his 4th three-pointer of the night. On the drive, Ackerman too hard off the iron. Clark pulls it down. Pilots can tie it or take the lead with a three. Peak, is he feeling it? They're gonna have to come out unidentified. Top half of that 2-3 zone. Getting just a little bit extended. Jeremiah Peak with 4 three-pointers. Peak swatted away, rejected. Open for a second, Ackerman came out of nowhere. You can hear the thud all the way up here in the top of the stands. Peak will inbound. They won't put anybody on him. And Ayersville will slow it down. Peak, pump fake. They'll reverse it. Flory for the lead. Off the heel of the iron. Loose ball. Clark to tie it. Got it! Ayersville knots things up at 45 all. An 8-0 run. Long distance three off the heel of the iron by Spichala. And now the Pilots with a chance to take the lead. Peak, can he give it to him? It's short. Pair of Tinora players fall down. Loose ball picked up by Amoroso. Peak on the drive, leans in. They're gonna call a charge. They're waving it off. They're calling a charge on Jeremiah Peak. And that's his 4th. The only thing this circus is missing is a tent. We're barely halfway through the 4th quarter, and the intensity has ratcheted up. You take a look at Coach Lyman's stall there. Coach Wolfram calling his players over, saying huddle up. Sauce for the goose. We're tied at 45. It's now become a 4-minute ball game. Ayersville trailed 43-35 entering the 4th quarter. It's a brand new contest. It's a rivalry for a reason. Pilots will inbound. Peak with 4 fouls will remain in the ball game. Ayersville looking for their first lead of the 2nd half. They have trailed the entirety of this ball game. Lob pass on the baseline. Flory's there! Pilots with the lead. Now under 4, left to go. Loose pass. What do we got? Over and back? No, a foul. Oh my goodness. The worst case scenario for Tinora. Coach Lymanstall thought that ball was tipped. Coach Wolfram telling his team, keep your composure. It's only a 1-possession game. Flory, down low Michael, leans in. That's a foul, and Carter Michael has just fouled out. That's his 5th. He'll head to the bench with 15 points in his pocket, but he'll be a spectator for the final 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Wow. And Ayersville's lineup just gets considerably smaller. Carter Michael gets a round of applause, and deservedly so, from the Pilot fans. And I love the young man's energy. He's not pouting. He is getting into this game now as a spectator, the best teammate he can be on the bench. Fishpaw will check in. Well, Tinora taking several body blows, surrendering an 8-point lead to begin the quarter. Right now trying to keep their composure, tie this ball game back up, maybe take the lead. Long three is off the mark, and Clark, now the lone big man, cleans up on the weak side for Ayersville. Too much time left for Ayersville to go 4 corners, one would think. But right now they're spreading the floor. They're trying to bring Tinora out of this zone. Clark on the baseline, and they'll kick it right back out. They are in no rush. And Tinora now in a man-to-man. They're out of it. Amoroso swings it to Fishpaw. Still running their offense, but they got what they wanted. Coming up on 2.5 minutes left to go in the game. Peak. 4 threes on the night. Both teams' student bodies getting into it. Tremendous atmosphere here at the hangar tonight. Ayersville is spreading the floor. Coach Wolfram telling Amoroso, get going. He's flirting with 5. It's 5 seconds. They turn it over. Just the second miscue of the second half for the Pilots. 2:12 left to go. Just 1 basket so far in the 4th quarter for the Rams. It came from Aiden Rittenhouse. He cuts through, he's being jammed by Amoroso. Spachala watches the first cutter go through. Ackerman had 12 at the half. He's scoreless so far. Working the baseline. Peak deflects it out of bounds. Minute 46 left to go. Tinora inbounds. There's no need to rush, but they need a quality look. You figure Ackerman or Rittenhouse would be first choices. Ackerman being jammed by Clark. Rittenhouse, will he put it on the floor? He'll take Amoroso to the iron. He'll go to the line. Foul against Amoroso is his 2nd. Rittenhouse will shoot a pair. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He is 68% on the season, and he rattles home his first. Ackerman coming over, getting instructions from Coach Lymanstall, who'll actually take a seat on the bench. They're going to sub out. Rittenhouse. He's 1 for 2 from the stripe tonight. This for the tie. Got it! 47 all. Just under 90 seconds left to go in regulation. Amoroso coming over. Coach Wolfram wants a timeout. What else did you expect for the River Rivalry? We'll take a quick First Insurance Group timeout. A minute 21 left to go in regulation. Tied at 47. Ayersville, will they work for the final shot of their first best shot? Stick around and find out. You're watching DCTV Sports. The scene from the hangar. 1:21 left to go in regulation. Ayersville has erased an 8-point deficit to start the fourth quarter. We'll see what Coach Wolfram has drawn up coming out of this timeout. Tied at 47. They flash Clark down low. Count it! And he'll go to the line. They snuck him in backdoor in the post. A beautiful feed and a power step for 2 off the glass. The foul will go against Cooper Farrell as first. Clark now with 8 on the night and a chance for a 3-point play. Clark, a 52% free throw shooter. Taking his time. Deep breath. It's on the way. Off the mark. Peak taps it to himself. And now Tenora's got to think about fouling. Ayersville almost knocked into the back court. Peak just trying to stay out. Coach Lymanstall screaming at his team, get up and get on him. 50 seconds. Amoroso. At what point does Tinora foul? Down by a pair. Precious seconds ticking off the clock. Coach Lymanstall begging his team to foul. They have yet to do so. He's screaming, he's showing it, and they finally do. Rittenhouse fouls Fishpaw. Boy, they let over 25 seconds tick off the clock. And they've still got 2 more, it looks like, before they put him to the line. And Tinora wants a timeout. 35 and 6/10 seconds left to go. Pilots 49, Rams 47. Back with the closing seconds on DCTV Sports. Coming out of the First Insurance Group timeout. The scene at Ayersville, the hangar. And it has been electric tonight. The River Rivalry, and both teams playing like it. Not just bragging rights for a season, but a huge GMC conference win on the line. Tinora led the entire third quarter. Matter of fact, from the end of the first quarter through the end of the third. An 8-point lead going into the fourth quarter. But Ayersville went on an 8-0 run, and right now with 35 and 6/10 seconds left, they lead it 49-47. Tinora, if they don't get the steal, is going to have to foul immediately, and that's exactly what Homeyer does, his third. They still have 1 more before they put him to the line. And they foul before the inbounds. Homeyer picks up his 4th, but the benefit there for Tinora is no time came off the clock. Now to the other end of the gym, Jeremiah Peak. He's got 12 points tonight, 4 3-pointers. This is his first trip to the free throw line. He's a 65% free throw shooter. The freshman releases and rattles it home. Every bit of the iron and the backboard. This is huge. It would become a 2-possession lead if he can drain it. Amoroso is back. Peak's second is on the way. Book it. It's a 2-possession game. Tenora's got to hustle. Spichala. Ackerman. Hard to the iron, lays it up and in. His first points of the second half. He's got 14, and it pulls Tinora to within a deuce. Timeout on the floor. 30-second variety will keep it here. Logan Wolfram wanted a travel. A change in call not forthcoming. If you are Ayersville, you've got to expect full court pressure on the inbounds. If you are Tinora, obviously you're going for the steal. If you don't get it, You cannot afford to allow any time off the clock. You're going to have to foul immediately. Looking at Ayersville's free throw shooters, who they'd have on the court right now. Flory at 76%, Peak at 65, Fishpaw at 60, Amoroso at 52, and Clark at 52. The inbounds, they get it to Flory, and immediately Ackerman comes up to foul. Well, Flory, a 76% free throw shooter, coming into tonight, 22 of 29. He's 0 for 1 this evening. And this is where that new rule comes into play, although he drains his first, so he would have earned a second in a one-on-one, one-and-one situation anyway. Second is on the way. Got them both. Ice water in his veins. 53-49. Tenora's got a hustle. Bottle's deflected. Johnny on the spot. Rittenhouse for three. Got it! Lights out. Aiden Rittenhouse with 13 of 4 seconds left. Pulls the Rams to within one. They have saved their best for the final 8 minutes. Same philosophy applies. If you are Ayersville, you're looking into the teeth of a full court press. If you are Tinora, and if you don't get the steal, you've got to foul immediately. Both teams with their instructions back out onto the floor. Nobody on the inbounder. Flory to the corner. Hinkle. And do we have a foul before the ball was inbound? Tinora, that is heads-up coaching by Chris Lymanstall. No seconds ticking off the clock, and yet getting what you wanted. The foul goes against Rittenhouse, his third. Flory right back to the line. He nailed his last two. A 76% free throw shooter. Taking his time. Releases. Long. And now timeout, Ayersville. Wanting to make sure, depending on what happens with Flory, how you want to D up. If he hits, a 2 ties it. If he doesn't, anything for Tinora would be the game winner. What a contest tonight from the hangar. Don't tell me that these are two teams that don't think this one matters. And the Rams are definitely better than their 3-9 record. They played a murderer's row of a non-conference schedule. Very hefty. But for this very reason, Coach Lymanstall said it's going to make us better for the GMC schedule. And they're proving it tonight. On the flip side, the Pilots have just 1 win at home all year. That back on December 9th. They're trying for their second. Flory standing in the loneliest spot of this gymnasium right now, all by himself at the charity stripe. Now Tinora will put 4 on the lane. They will release Welling. Flory trying to make it a 2-point lead. It's on the way. Got it. The inbounds, 10 seconds. Welling across the timeline. Spiccialla open for 3. And the win! Got it! with 3 seconds left. Desperation shot does not go, and Tinora takes the River Rivalry. Adam Spichala with his 4th 3 of the night, and it comes with 3 seconds left. 55-54, Rams escape the hangar with a win. What a ball game. We'll catch our breath. Take a quick timeout. Your Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. On the other end of this, you're watching the River Rivalry on DCTV Sports. What an environment. The hangar is still buzzing. The River Rivalry did not disappoint. And with 3 seconds left on the clock, after Tinora saw an 8-point lead going into the 4th quarter completely evaporate, an Ayersville lead as big as 4 in the waning minutes, Adam Spichala draining a 3 with 3 seconds left. He finishes with 14 points on the evening, and with it, the Rams escape the hangar with a 55-54 win. Just their 4th overall, but more importantly, now 2-1 in the Green Meadows Conference. The Pilots still looking for a rare home victory. They have only one in one of the most difficult places to play in all of this part of Ohio, and they're shaking their heads wondering what just happened as they fall to 6-7 and 2-2 in the GMC. Brent Palmanot saying thank you for joining us as we are getting back and ready to go with our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. We anticipate being joined by Tinora coach Chris Lymanstall and a player or two of his choosing. And here comes Rittenhouse, here comes Coach Lymanstall, here comes the rest of the Rams, and they are being swarmed by the student body. What a tremendous game here this evening. Let's take a look at our Mark Moats Ford stat summary. We're going to try and get Coach Lyman Stahl's attention as he's working his way over here. What a ball game. Let's start for the Rams. Leading all players tonight, Aiden Rittenhouse finishes with 18. He had 7 at the half. He had 11 in the second half. We'll wait him out. Sure, it's no problem. Matter of fact, 3 players in double figures. Oh, the guys are coming over here, and you know what? You know where your bread's buttered. Guys, grab. We got 2 headsets right over there. Each of you will have to share a little bit. The camera's right down there. We'll start you off. There you go. Just like that. There you go. Camera's right there, so make sure you get your moneymaker. Best side here.
Yep, there we go.
All right. Aiden, let's go ahead and start with you.
Yeah.
Walk us through. We can really go back to the beginning, but that fourth quarter, you had the 8-point lead. It evaporated. You knew that they weren't going to roll over and play dead, but you guys never panicked. What was the mindset? What was Coach telling you? What were you guys telling each other in those waning minutes?
We just needed to stay calm, and we needed to focus on what we did and practice this whole entire week and know what we do best. And then we just stuck with it. We had confidence, and we kept each other in the game.
Oh, and I'm looking down here, 12 points. Oh, wait a minute, he doesn't have the headset on. I tell you what, well, you hit the winning shot, so you might as well go ahead. Matter of fact, we should have had you go up first here. Walk us through that, because you didn't panic. You had what? I think it was probably around 10 or 12 seconds after the free throw. Walk us through what that final play was. Were you the first option?
No, Aiden was the first option. We wanted to get him to pop open for the 3. 2 of them came with me, shot fake, and shot the ball.
I was going to say, you rolled to the top. Did you expect to be open? Did you expect to be that open?
No, I was just looking for Aiden.
So it's good to be a little selfish sometimes then, right?
It is, and I'm glad he was.
Look, we're talking situational awareness, though, there. I mean, you know that the clock is winding down. If you hold on to that ball even another second or 2, that buzzer probably sounds. At what point did you decide it's mine to take?
When I saw 2 people run with Aiden, and I thought it was mine.
And you hit it.
Yeah.
Did you have any doubt when that ball left your fingertips?
I did. I thought it was an air ball.
I didn't see you follow. So here I thought you'd say a little confidence.
No, I thought it was an air ball.
Hey, he's being honest, ladies and gentlemen, though. That's the best thing about it. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and throw that headset on.
There you go.
The baton being handed. You lit up the first half. 12 points. You had 1 basket. It came at a crucial moment in the second half in that fourth quarter. You didn't force it, though. Did you anticipate that they'd face guard you, that they'd put a little more pressure on you in the second half?
Yeah, they had that one kid. What number was he? Clark.
Clark.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he was pressuring me pretty good, but at the end they got a bad switch off, and not gonna lie, I might have traveled on that last play. But nobody sees that, and I can't reverse it. So
this is the most honest group of athletes I think I've ever interviewed in 30 years of sportscasting. In all seriousness, so a changing call isn't forthcoming. They're not going to take that one away from you. Can you talk about the grit, though, that this team showed, especially in that fourth quarter when Ayersville made that run?
Go ahead. I'll go. Whole entire week, we've been focusing on keeping each other up, and we keep getting each other's heads up, spirits up. If something goes bad, we have to go be a leader and pick them up. And I think when they made that run, we realized we need to be there for each other. And that's what we did, and we kept each other in the game.
Got a chance to stop out to 2 of your practices this week. Again, 3-9, and Coach Lymanstall said he punished you guys in the non-conference. He doesn't believe in a cream puff schedule. You could go play basically a bunch of lapdogs and think you're better than you are. But he said it was done for a purpose, and that was to get you ready for where you're at right now in the conference. Now hindsight looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And those teams that we played, they really got us ready for all these GMC teams. Teams like Patrick Henry, Napoleon, they make us better. They're really good teams, and that's what made us able to do what we did tonight.
Oh, and how much better can this team still get? You still have several weeks of the season left.
Oh man, we still got a lot to improve on. We still got stuff like turnovers and all that stuff that's like bad right now. So if we can fix all that, I think we can be something great.
All right, Adam's caught his breath, so go ahead and throw that headset back on him. He sounded like he'd just run a marathon. Part of that was you got mobbed by your student body. You know what? That's a great question. This place was electric.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a library where you could hear a pin drop. How much did you guys feed into that in the waning minutes?
Fed into a lot of it. They were talking trash about my friend right here because they think he's dating a little.
No.
Never mind. But they were talking a lot of trash the whole game. We didn't say anything back. He kept getting in trouble. I don't know what he was saying, but that's him.
At the same time, when you are breathing heavy like you did just to get up here, I'm thinking about the energy that you had to spend at both ends of the court in the final at least 4 minutes. It turned into a 4-minute and 6-second game. Did you get tired? Did that crowd allow you to get tired, or did you plug into that energy?
I got a little tired, but I love energy.
You also love a dub, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, congratulations. Go celebrate it.
Thank
You earned it. Well done. Coach Lymanstall, I'll tell you what we're going to do is take a quick break. Nice job. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, I believe we are going to have Coach Lymanstall. He's working the media circuit up here in the top row. Final score, 55-54. Tinora and a Spatchala 3 with about 3 seconds left to go spells the difference. Yep, oh, you better come on over here. Catch your breath, grab a headset. Any one of those will work. We will keep it here. Coach Lymanstall joining us as he's making the media circuit here at the top row. All right, first things first, what a tremendous ball game. This is a rivalry for a reason. Both teams played. This almost had a postseason state tournament kind of feel to it. Your thoughts after now catching your breath a little bit?
Yeah, after playing our first half, which was probably as good as we've played, we put together a good first half against Wayne Trace last week. Put together a good second half against Stryker, and then tonight again we put together a good first half, but the atmosphere, as you alluded to, was not going to let this Ayersville squad go away. Give them credit in the second half. They took advantage of our lack of size inside and was able to find those gaps, and they were able to score and get back in the game and take the lead and put the pressure on us to execute really down the stretch.
Had the guys up here, obviously they were talking about it. I'll start with the student body in the crowd. Again, Spatchala just simply said, we were sucking wind. Ayersville made that run, but he said our students wouldn't allow us to get tired. Can you just talk about feeding off of what they brought tonight?
Yeah, we heard them all night long, and that's what they're there for, to help encourage these guys. They love their guys. We love our guys, and they just weren't going to let them rest tonight.
Difference between the start of that fourth quarter and the end of the third. You have an 8-point lead. You knew Ayersville wasn't going to roll over and play dead, but at the same time, they raised their level of play. You hit it after that 8-0 run. I looked up and it was 4:06 when the score was tied at 45-45. Sauce for the goose. It became a 4-minute ball game at that point. To your club's credit, they didn't look like they panicked at all.
We got back to executing the last 4 minutes. When we went down, it was because we got too quick offensively, and this is kind of an issue we've had throughout the season, is we get too quick, maybe rush some shots, some ill-advised turnovers, and that allows teams to get back into games if you're not composed and have great possessions offensively. But we settled back down, and we're just able to make enough down the stretch.
You also were smart in how you fouled. You fouled before the inbounds on a couple of plays to make sure that time didn't tick off the clock. It became a chess match in about the final minute, maybe 90 seconds. Do you like the way your team handled themselves in that situation, fought their way through things?
Yeah, like you said, we executed really well down the stretch, behind or ahead as we were previously, but it was more of a happenstance where as soon as they got it in, we were going to foul no matter what. But they happened to grab them, they fouled them, and we were just fortunate enough they missed. But I totally credit Ayersville for the run in the second half, and what a great atmosphere that they had provided for us tonight. It was great. We're just very, very happy to get out of here with a W.
Break down the final play for us. The free throw, you knew you had, I think it was at 10, maybe 12 seconds on the clock at that point in time. Spatchala said, and we thought probably up here at the same time, Rittenhouse would have been the first option, but you knew he was going to draw a lot of company. Can you just talk about how that play unfolded and eventually Adam's decision to pull the trigger?
Yeah, it was a choice for us when they were shooting the free throws. Was it going to be we were going to live and die by us calling a timeout on that last possession? Fortunately, they called the timeout. We were able to draw something up with action on that side of the floor. So Connor goes on that dribble handoff, and he was going to dive to the rim, and that drew some defense over. Now, we knew people were going to go with Aiden. If Aiden comes free, he's got to look at the rack, but two guys went with Aiden. Adam came free on the dribble handoff, and when it came time to shoot it, he was composed enough to fake, let the guy fly by, and again, you guys saw the rest. It was great.
He admitted it. This is one of the most honest groups of athletes I've had step up here for a post game in 30-plus years of broadcasting.
That scares me a little bit.
But at the same time, Adam said, he goes, I was still looking for Aiden.
Yeah.
But with 3 seconds left, he still had enough situational awareness to understand it's now or never. You got to pull that trigger with confidence. You got to be pleased with the last second or split-second decision-making then, don't you?
And we practice that kind of stuff, as every team does. They practice that stuff down the stretch and to be composed. And we're just fortunate enough that it paid off for us.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Well earned.
Thank you.
Well done. It's going to take him a few days to get that smile off his face. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on things. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. We're putting a neat, I guess in this case, green and white bow on it here this evening as Tinora comes, it's hard to say, blows an 8-point lead, then comes from behind all at the same time in the fourth quarter as they overcame what eventually was a 4-point deficit. And Adam Spichala, three-pointer with 3 seconds left, and it spells the difference. Tinora 55, Ayersville 54. Let's finish running down our Mark Moats Ford stat summary. As we mentioned, leading all players tonight, Aiden Rittenhouse with 18. 14 apiece for Spichala and Owen Ackerman, 7 for Connor Wellig, and 2 for Alex Homeyer. No bench points for Tinora. The starters getting the job done tonight. On the flip side for Ayersville, huge play with about 3:34 left to go in the ball game. Carter Michael fouls out for Ayersville. He finishes with 15. 14 for Jeremiah Peak, including 4 3-pointers, 10 for Garrett Flory, 4 for Ben Amoroso. The starting point guard was 4 for 4 from the charity stripe, and 3 bench points courtesy of Dylan Hinkle. I told Coach Lyman-Stahl I would flip a coin for our Steichman Automotive Group player of the game. Any other night, it would be Aiden Rittenhouse. But when you drain your 4th three-pointer of the evening, and you're the second option on the play, and with 3 seconds left, it's all or nothing, Adam Spichala, share the pizza with your teammates. Adam Spichala is our Steichman Automotive Group player of the game. That is going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. Big thank you going out to Will, Alex, John, Tim, for doing more than yeoman's work this evening. Big thank you going out to our underwriters. I say it every night when we sign off, but ladies and gentlemen, we can't be more serious than we are tonight. This game is why we do what we do. And if you enjoy our coverage of area high school sports, please frequent those businesses. Let them know you appreciate their sponsorship, helping us bring our coverage of area high school athletics to you. Also, a huge thank you for you, the fan, for tuning in tonight. Final score, it's an instant classic. 3 seconds left. Adam Spichala drains a 3, and Tinora comes from behind to beat Ayersville at the hangar. Final 55-54. This is Brent Palbinot. You've been watching a sports presentation of DCTV.